it's interesting that the things that we are not taught in school, in education, by our parents, by our churches, by our communities, are the most important things. I believe that every person carries a unique frequency into this world. It's like your energetic blueprint of who you are. And yours is different than mine. And yours is different than hers. And each one of us all together in this world, working in collaboration over competition, working with each other in these beautiful ways of flowing and weaving with each other in our own gifts, creates like a symphony of sound. Frequency is one of the very first things that forms in the brain when you're in the womb. I think that's so profound because when you're a baby in the utero, the first thing you hear is kukung, kukung, your mom's heart. It's the first sense you develop, you know? And I think that's something so primal when we hear drums and we hear the sound. It's like, oh, it like wakens something primal in us. So not only do we have this frequency that we bring to the earth just by being ourselves, but we are also electrical beings in a physical body interacting with the frequency all around us.
Welcome to the We Are Healing in Paradise podcast, where we are cultivating the new earth by reconnecting with our true nature and healing the planet from inside each of us.
Welcome to We Are Healing in Paradise podcast. My name is Kate, and I'm here with Rosario and our friend Bailey.
Hi.
Welcome.
And we're so excited to be chatting with Bailey today because she's become a dear friend of ours. We met her, actually, she came and did a detox with us, and it was incredible. And then we started to learn more about like the art and the beauty and the healing and the wisdom that she's bringing to the world. And we thought, what a better person to interview for our podcast.
Yay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor and such a sacred space to film this with you guys.
Yes, we're at La Canape. We are in Mexico. We're in the center of Playa del Carmen, and you might hear a little bit of background noise. It can get a little wild here in the city. So just hang out with us and enjoy the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So Bailey, we are, we are into the healing thing. It's our thing, you know. And we were curious about the work you do. And you were talking to me the other day about like you believe like frequencies can heal like your body. And also I know that you're a singer. So I want like if you can share us how you work with that and how do you see the frequencies on like impact on life.
That's a beautiful question. Thank you. I love that. Yeah, so it's interesting that the things that we are not taught in school, in education, by our parents, by our churches, by our communities, are the most important things. The things that affect all of us, like our frequency. Like I believe that every person carries a unique frequency into this world. It's like your energetic blueprint of who you are. And yours is different than mine. And yours is different than hers. And each one of us all together in this world, working in collaboration over competition, working with each other in these beautiful ways of like flowing and weaving with each other in our own gifts, creates like a symphony of sounds. It creates like a chorus. If you've ever heard people sing in a choir, you have like high notes, medium low notes, low notes, and they come together and like gives you chills. You're like, oh, like this is amazing. Something about the human voice, the human body, like even frequency is one of the very first things that forms in the brain when you're in the womb, in the utero. Like when you hear your hearing and the part of your brain that remembers sound. So that's why like even my grandmother, when she was 95 and struggling with dementia, forgetting a lot of things, she could still remember the songs from her childhood. All of the verses from the church, from her hymns, from all of the words, all of the songs, because she knew them when she was a baby. She knew them when she was a little kid. So even though she was forgetting to remember things like who is the president or, you know, something like this, she could still remember the music. And I think that's so profound because when you're a baby in the utero, the first thing you hear is kukung, kukung, your mom's heart. It's the very first thing it's the first sense you develop, you know? And I think that's something so primal when we hear drums and we hear the sound. It's like, oh, it like wakens something primal in us. So not only do we have this frequency that we bring to the earth just by being ourselves, but we are also electrical beings in a physical body interacting with the frequency all around us, like these plants, these trees, this air, this sky, everything has its own frequency that impacts us. And then I think you add to that, we have like so many electric frequencies that are not authentic to the world, like Wi-Fi and TV and all these other things that are impacting us in an electromagnetic way that can also be very dysregulating to the body. It can create like really, I mean, you do this all the time with your work, so you know. Like, it can create all kinds of problems, from like insomnia to digestive issues to skin issues when we are impacted by these frequencies. And luckily, grounding, being barefoot, touching the ground, we are helping to replace those positive ions with negative ions, fresh from the earth, fresh from the ocean, fresh from the plants, that can help restore our natural frequency, you know, and help us restore us to a place of wholeness and groundedness. That I think when you come to a place like this, in Healing in Paradise, you experience that in a way that you may not even be aware of. You may come here and just be like, I feel different, I feel better, I feel more healthy, I feel more aligned. I've heard that from so many people who come here, even just for like a week, and then they go home and they're back in the race and they see the difference in how they feel, and they're like, why did I feel so good in Mexico? Why did I feel so good on these trips? Not just because it's a different environment, but because you are experiencing more flow into your frequency, you know? And then I think the frequency of sound is so important, because what we are listening to is going into our brain, which is impacting our nervous system, which can create dysregulation. A lot of our music as well is tuned to a frequency that is not our natural harmonious frequency. Like 432, for example, is like the harmony, the frequency of the planet. The actual Schumann resonance of the earth is like
442, you said?
Yeah, 432.
432.
Yeah, and it's like, if you could take the heartbeat of the earth and scale it down to human size, it would be 432. It's like an exact mirror of like the heartbeat of the planet and like the frequency of the human. And they're like a perfect match. And our music, for example, like pop music, is tuned just off from 432. It's 440, which is not bad, but like it's not great. It's not what it could be. And I think music can be so healing. And so the fact that our music is not made with this intention is kind of sad, which is also why I like to make music with intention. And there's so many artists doing this. Like, you have the artists here that are singing, that are creating beautiful sounds, that are using sound bowls, that are using healing medicine and music. Like, it's different, you know?
So you believe also that if the music can heal, also can like make disease in the body?
Yeah, I think it can dysregulate as well. Everything can be used as a tool for good or not, right? And I think that, yeah, when we are consciously creating music with the right frequency, you can create so much regulation in the body just by something so simple as the tuning or the pitch. Like, there are caves all over the world, in Tibet, I know for sure, and other places, maybe you know, I don't know, that are naturally tuned to certain frequencies, and people are able to go there and heal their bodies of like all kinds of diseases, of cancers, by instruments being played in these caves. And the body is feeling complete resonance, which, like, the cells in the body that are causing dysregulation, anything that is sickness or inflammation, like, it can't exist in a place of harmony, right? It doesn't work.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And one of the powers is that it, like you said, regulating your nervous system. It's like bringing a lot of those like really nature frequencies, like the sound bowls, brings us into the parasympathetic, which is like the healing vibration. Yeah. And I think just the frequency of caves is healing, because during the pandemic, like, I was obsessed with this one beach. It's on Kauai. It's called Secrets Beach. So those of you who know, you know. And there's these caves there. And in the summertime, like the the beach is really long, and like, so the ocean's really far away from the caves. So you can just go and like sleep in the caves. And depending on what the beach has done, like sometimes there's a couple caves, but there's always one big cave. And so I just like got into this habit of like once a week going down there, and I would bring a blow up air mattress and blankets and pillows, and I'd make my like princess bed in the cave, and I would sleep so good. I mean, I'd fall asleep super early because there was no service, and I was in the full darkness with the, you know, the sky of perfect like billions of stars, because you can, there's no light pollution. And it was like, I just feel like the vibration or just the energy or the frequency of just being in that cave was like, I was like, I haven't slept this good in years. Like, this is insane. And when I would wake up at like,
I want to do it.
5:30 in the morning, like with the sunrise, and just feel so refreshed. And then there was also a spring at that beach, so I would walk to the spring and take a shower and then drink the water, like, because it was like it's like a little spring that comes down like a baby waterfall. But it was like, the
dream
frequency.
life. I love it.
Speaking of caves, like that frequency was insane. But I feel like it was bringing me into my deep parasympathetic, which is like healing my nervous system, and then it just like brought me into like that deep rest, like healing state.
Yeah,
you know, because you also like to talk about the nervous system.
I do.
Right?
I do.
One of my favorite topics as well.
I love that you said it's like it was the best sleep you had, because the cave is like so reminiscent of the womb, you know, like around the world, these ancient indigenous cultures were like, the caves are so sacred because they're like the womb. So it's like you were able to go back in and just like sleep on the ground, like connected, you know, and so dark and everything. Oh my goodness, I love that. Wow, we have to go.
Yeah, we have to go.
We're gonna go.
I know.
I invite you girls.
I've never slept in a cave. I've slept in tents and beaches and stuff, but a cave would be really cool.
This cave sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just a very shallow cave. Like, it's not so deep. It's like you can see the ocean, you can see the stars, but you're just, you know, if it rains or anything.
Yeah.
Because Kauai is the wettest place in the world. So
What a like ancestral memory too, to sleep in a cave. Like, we would have done that.
Yeah.
Through so much of human history, you know, we would. This is how we would have lived, and what we would have looked for as a place of safety and rest, you know.
Exactly.
Wow.
Also under the caves, my husband, he likes to explore caves, and when I met him, it was his first job, like doing tours and doing cave. But when I first met the cave, I was like so in shock because time and space doesn't exist. And you don't feel the frequencies of the Wi-Fi or the phones or anything. It's just like it changed. And when you go out, you feel like you can breathe. It's different. Like all your senses go higher. And this can happen also. Like, we are so polluted by frequencies in these days, so we are not recognizing, like, if it's a stress because it's us, or is because we're absorbing all the time a lot of things. Like, even the music sometimes can be annoying for some people, and for others can be like, wow, this is the best music ever.
So true.
Right? But I feel like it can damage, and then you can see how the people behave through the music, like you can, like, this the how do you say this, like the social part, like you can see how the people act even with the body depends on the music they listen. It's really curious, right?
Totally. It sounds like a silent disco, like when everyone has the headphones on with their dancing and everyone is like in a different vibe, you know, based on what they're hearing. Yeah, it's so true. It's like I think it's the same with, like, we can be in an experience, all three of us right now, right? We could be experiencing this moment all differently based on what we are feeling inside. Like, you could be like, I'm stressed, this is a stressful environment for me. Nothing is happening, nothing is wrong, but you could feel this way in your body. And you're like, this is the best, I'm loving it, you know, and I'm like, where am I gonna go? You know, like, I have things to do, you know, like, we're all in a different place. But I think it's fascinating how the thoughts and the things inside is what is creating the reality that we are living in as well. And I think that's so key for the nervous system and for this work that we're talking about, because, like, when we often think of the brain. I think I talked with you about this the other day as well. We think of the brain as like a receiver of information, you know? And it is. But we also have to think of it as a projector, like a movie projector, right? It is projecting what we are thinking into our reality to create the world that we live in, which is why we could be in the same room having totally different experiences. And I think this can help you have a lot of empathy for people as well, to be like, I don't know what you're going through. Like, maybe you were rude to me, or maybe you brushed past me or something, and like maybe I would take it, you know, like, oh, why would she do that, you know? But then I can think of it quickly, be like, I don't know what she's going through. Like, I don't know what the state of her nervous system is. Like, only have control over mine, and recognizing that this person is a reflection of them, and I am in charge of me and my reaction and my response and my nervous system. This is my most important thing in the world because it controls everything that I'm doing. You know, every interaction I'm having. Yeah.
And how powerful it would be if everybody really had the knowledge and the tools to be able to master their nervous system and understand like how to regulate their nervous system, you know, because we all go through those moments where we're like angry or stressed, and we're like we can feel the cortisol and we can feel the stress hormones like raising, but like knowing, like, being able to like kind of step back and observe and know, like, okay, this is something that is happening to me, but I have tools to be able to bring myself into a more regulated state so I don't react like it in a way that might hurt somebody else or whatever, you know, or hurt myself, you know. So I mean, I think the more that we talk about these topics and the more we educate people and the more that we embody it ourselves, because I feel like for me, when I was starting to understand how the nervous system works and the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, I went on this like really powerful journey where I could like suddenly feel, it's almost like downshifting in a car, my body going like, oh, I'm getting more calm, and oh, I'm getting more calm, and like, and I was like, whoa, like I started to really be able to feel it. And then another thing I've been doing, because we've been geeking out with our detox clients and like getting everyone to take their blood sugar. And so I've been like taking my blood sugar all the time to just sort of like understand more about blood sugar, because I mean, I can read about it, but I feel like when you experience things, you learn more. And I've noticed if I'm stressed, my blood sugar numbers will always be higher. And if I'm calm, like after I do a yoga nidra practice, which we'll have to do a podcast just on yoga nidra one time because I'm obsessed with yoga nidra. But like after I do like a practice like that or meditate, or I'm really in like this super calm Zen state, my numbers will be super low. Even if I've eaten recently and my numbers should have gone up.
That's
like,
amazing.
It's like cool to see like our physiologically, our body is responding to where we are hormonally and how our nervous system is reacting in that moment.
So cool. Wow, I love that you're seeing of the physical and also the science of what you're feeling, that it's like lining up. That's really, that feels very confirming.
Because I felt it for years. I've always been able to feel it, but to see the numbers is like, whoa, this is like crazy. Like the whole body is like on the same page.
And normally it's like the opposite. We understand sometimes it's like, oh, maybe this can work like this now because of the cortisol hormone. And if you're super stressed, like the body is not going to work at all. And then it's like, she put me yoga nidra. I'm liking it now. But I was like, oh no, I cannot sleep. I cannot take naps. I always need to be in a rush. And it's like she put it, and in 10 minutes I was like snoring for 1 hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really intense.
What was it for you that made you go so deep?
I feel like the way the person guide the therapy is like, is really like it's really like shallow and like really calm, the voice, you know, and it like certain pauses. So I was like trying to figure it out, but then at the end I don't understand what he's saying. It's just like I just started sleeping.
Wow.
And now also it's balls and frequencies.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Why do you like yoga nidra? I've only just got started practicing with it.
Oh, really?
So, but it's amazing. Wow.
But yeah, it is. I believe it is the frequency, because it's like it doesn't make sense that just someone talking is going to bring you into
Totally.
this deep place. And I got my yoga teacher training in like 2012 in Hawaii. And one of the teachers at the studio that I got she wasn't my like teacher training teacher, but she was just a teacher at the studio. She would do these like 90-minute restorative yoga classes and end with a yoga nidra. And it was like back when people still use CDs. She had these CDs that she sold of yoga nidra. And I remember I like downloaded them onto my laptop, and I would like listen to her all the time, and her voice was like so calming, like, and so quiet. And like, then I started to like really go crazy, and I did like a whole like training on yoga nidra and restorative yoga, and like did all this like continuing education with my teacher training at the time about that topic, because I was so fascinated, and read all the books there's a few different books that yogis have written about yoga nidra and the practice. And so I started to really understand like how deep you can go. And they've done studies where they put like maybe sleep monitors like on your head, like sleep studies, while people are doing yoga nidra. So normally a normal American gets 1 to less than 1 minute of deep restorative sleep a night.
Wow.
But when you do an hour of yoga nidra, people were averaging 8 minutes of deep restorative sleep during the yoga nidra practice. And unlike normal sleep, where you slowly go down into like a really deep sleep state, in yoga nidra you would go from like total consciousness, boom, immediately into like deep sleep, and then come back into consciousness. So it's really creating this beautiful bridge between the conscious and the subconscious mind, which I think is so powerful, because our subconscious is like running our decisions. And so to be able to marry them and get them on the same page is so healing. Like, you get to heal subconscious things while resting.
Yeah.
It's like a restorative, it's like a productive nap is what I like to call yoga nidra. It's like, I'm getting so much work done while I'm sleeping.
I love that. Wow.
So I could go on and on. Like I said, maybe we should do a whole podcast just on yoga nidra, because it's super powerful.
And
I
love that.
One of the few practices I've come back. It's like 2 things. I was telling Rosario, 2 things that I keep coming back to in my life, like over all the years, is detoxing, doing like super deep, like 21-day detox, and yoga nidra. Those are the 2 things.
Wow.
Everything else kind of comes and goes. Like, this is cool. This is a fad.
For a season.
But these, I stick with them, and they keep healing me over and over and over again.
Wow. Those are the best things. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have something like this, like 1 or 2 things for you that's like either for your nervous system or just for your health overall that you come back to?
Like, no, but I'm learning. I'm learning. I think I have a stressful life these couple of years. And then running this business and everything, now I'm taking time for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm learning like these techniques can also help me heal more fast everything. You know, like, and I feel like every person can heal like super fast, whatever, because it's to restore the body at the end. When we sleep is because we need to restore the body. And also to sleep well, also we need to have good frequencies at the end. You know, some people, they sleep with the phone next, and it's damaging their brain. Yeah. And also, if you speak with these people, it's like, oh, I always have headache, or I didn't sleep well, or they have something, but it's because the frequencies are like going inside. Yeah. So that's why it's important when you have a phone, like put it like 2 meters. Yeah. You know, further your head, at least. Yes. And then.
Yeah, it's crazy that we don't know like how affected we can be from it, like from the phone. I remember one of my teachers was talking about how she can feel the frequency of the phone, that she can feel like on her body, and I was like, what? I don't know about that. Maybe she's just super sensitive. Then I started to recognize that the more I was holding my phone in my hand,
you feel something
my
tickling.
Hand feels like heavy or hot. Oh, and my other hand is fine, and I'm only holding my hand, phone with this hand, or setting it on my leg or something, and then feeling like my leg is hot, or not just hot because my phone is hot, but hot from the actual frequency. And you tell people this that they're not as in tune with the frequency, and they're kind of like, I don't know, like I was before. And now I feel it. Or like my Bluetooth headphones. I used to wear AirPods all the time. And then I started to get really bad headaches. And I was like, why am I having headaches? I'm eating, I'm drinking water, I'm staying, I'm doing all the right things. And recognizing I was getting the headaches after using the AirPods. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. And then doing research on that, and just like Bluetooth is like, this blows my mind, but the internet, for example, is 31 years old only.
Wow.
It's new.
Yeah, it's
the
really
internet.
new.
And now, back in the day, the internet, the computer would have been the size of this room. The computers were huge, and then they slowly got smaller, smaller, smaller. Now we have in our phone, now in our watch. Now it's so small. Eventually in our head, probably, right?
It's already happening.
It's already happening. Like, it's amazing what we have, what's capable for us, what's available with AI. I mean, the whole world has changed within a few short years. How much it will change in the future. It's exciting and scary, but also it's interesting because these technologies are so new. We don't know the long-term effect of them. We don't have 90-year-old people who have been using Bluetooth their whole life. This new.
We're knowing now cases about people that use a lot of the phone. They
Yeah.
have tumors on the brain.
Yeah, exactly.
And depends on the brand of the telephone you buy also.
Yeah.
Like this can affect. Yeah, but it's crazy how like we are just, it's like we are an experiment, a big huge experiment.
we really are. Yeah, which is why your detox programs are so important, and I'm excited for more people to watch your podcast and learn more about it, because it was an amazing experience for me. Like, it was so profound to go from feeling like average, like, I don't know, like I feel fine, and then doing the program and being like, wow, I don't feel fine, which is a sign that my body is getting rid of a lot of stuff, like dredging up from the bottom the toxins and the shit that I've put in my body over the years. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. The stuff that I put in my body. the stuff
the
that
reality it is.
literally the stuff that I've been putting in my body over the years, and I'm a relatively healthy person, but like more than average maybe, but even then I still had so much stuff that needed to come out of my body. And it was amazing to see the post detox, when my body was slowly like recalibrating. I was getting my appetite back, everything was starting to feel fresh again, and I was like, wow, like I actually feel really good. Like, I am sleeping better, my skin is more clear, like my hair is more soft, like all these little things. I'm like, oh wow. This is what happens when you like take time. I mean, I'm 29, I've never done a detox. I'm 30 years of life that has never been like cleared out. I mean, I've done little things, little cleanses, little stuff, but not with any informed knowledge. And I think that's what made your program sales pitch. I'm not paid for saying this though. I think that's what made your program so different, was because it was informed, and you were giving me daily insights on what I can do, based on what I'm feeling. I'm texting you, and it's like one-on-one care. I have friends in the States that are having health problems and have to wait months to get an appointment with someone to help them. Like, I had a friend in the States with a UTI that went to her kidneys. I've had it happen too. I know how awful it is. She went in the US to 2 doctors who gave her 2 different types of antibiotics, both the wrong kind. She was nauseous for weeks. She came to Mexico, went to a doctor and said, I'm having these problems. And he's like, what are you taking? And he's like, this medicine from this doctor's in the US, and she doesn't have health insurance, so everything is very expensive. And the doctor was like, you're taking the wrong thing. I will get you the right thing. She's like, but it's 11 o'clock at night. And he's like, it's not a problem. It's Mexico, baby, So he gets her the right medicine. Within a few days, she was taken care of and better. But now I was talking to her, and I was like, I had this happen. You're going to want to work on your liver now. You're going to want to work on your kidneys now. We need to look at these things, because I had that happen, and I thought I was fine. But the bacteria was just dormant in my body for like a year. And then when we did the blood work, we saw it come up for the liver, and I was like, oh my God, it's still here, even though I did the antibiotics, even though I did all the right things, So I love that you're creating informed protocols for people to actually experience a difference in their body, mind, soul, spirit. I mean, it's all the things. It's not just a body thing either. It's like you are rebirthing yourself. Like, you're experiencing interesting dreams. You are experiencing, like, your body is going through, the subconscious is becoming more conscious in a detox process. And I think people don't realize how intense that can be too, why nervous system regulation is so important. Full circle.
Yeah, because I always think of the digestive system as part of the subconscious, because we're not consciously telling our stomach to break down the food. We're not consciously telling our intestines to push, you know, everything down. It's like, it's all happening subconsciously.
Yeah.
So I really believe that like marriage of conscious and subconscious becomes really apparent in the detox, like when you're going through a deep detox like that, because you're accessing things that you're not consciously aware of, but it's like running your body.
Yeah.
Like our colon is the most intelligent organ like on the planet.
What? Really?
It holds more information than the human brain, than any other organs and any other animals or mammals. Yeah, our colon.
I did
so
not know
imagine, and
that.
we're not consciously like telling our colon to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just working subconsciously.
Your whole life from birth, like, never stops.
Yeah, and think of like the just the toxic load that we take on in our modern day culture. Like you were saying, for 30 years, like you were never really like an endocrine disruptors.
It's a toxic
and,
load.
Yeah, all the little things that we take,
Yeah,
even if we're being like
bioaccumulation.
super healthy people.
Yeah.
It still happens to everybody, and so it's like we have to be more present in this era to just really like be caring for our physical body and caring for our nervous system, like consciously, like really putting attention on it.
Yes.
Yeah, like 100 years ago, we used to be more relaxed. We didn't have the phones. Even like 30 years, no, we didn't have like phones, like
Yeah,
mobiles.
20
So the
years
people
ago.
were more.
Yeah.
So the people were more like chill,
Yeah.
right? And now it's like we need to deal with this, and it's really important, no? Like how to be aware and awake these parts of you about the frequencies, the food, your thoughts, like everything that is around us.
Yeah.
So
It's so true.
we're really grateful that you came here and did the podcast with us.
Me
Yes,
too. I'm
yes.
so grateful. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yes, we would love it if you would share with everyone like how they can follow you and what you're doing. If you want to share a little bit about
Sure.
your
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah. I am Bailey, living in Mexico, in Playa Carmen. And yeah, I like to describe what I do as living an inspired life. And that means many different things. I'm an artist in many different ways. I am a singer, a multi-instrumentalist, musician. All of my music is under my name, Bailey Rushlow. You can find online on Spotify or wherever you listen. And yeah, I love working with clay, with paint, with arts of all kinds, and just I think it makes me a better artist, a better singer. I tell people that I'm like, I play with clay to make myself a better singer, and they're like, what? Like, how does that get? I'm like, yeah, because I'm exercising different parts of my brain, and I'm activating my inner child, and I'm making her feel safe.
Nurturing the soul.
I'm nurturing her, and like some days I wake up and I'm like, oh, I have so much to do. I have to do all this stuff, and I'm like, I would just want to play though, and I'm like, I'm just gonna. I have a neurodivergent mind. I'm very conscious of this and how I can work with it instead of seeing it as it's something bad about me. It's something wrong with me in this world that's not built for neurodivergent people. Being able to sit down and be like, I'm going to take the next hour and I'm going to play. Set a timer, whatever you have to do. And I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I'm going to, I don't know, make waist beads. Whatever the thing is of the day. I have lots of interests. I love making kombucha. I love fermenting things. I love making salves and balms and herbalism and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I'm living an inspired life. And that looks different every day. But today it looked like recording a podcast and drinking carrot juice. So I'm not mad, It's really great.
Yes, we love everything that you do. So
Thank
we
you.
will link all of Bailey's info below in the description box or in the show notes. And please follow us on your podcast. Give us a good review. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, share with your friends, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss an episode. We really want to spread awareness about the reality that you can heal. You can heal naturally with frequency. You can heal with understanding your nervous system. You can heal with food and juice and herbs. We believe it's possible, and we want to inspire you and your friends. So yes, please share us, and we'll be back next week with more Healing in Paradise. Thank you. Baby.
Adios.
Bye,
Thank you.